he is, listen, on his way to being one of the greatest of all time. And I don't feel bad about having that conversation. You know, Peter King joined us yesterday, and let's hear a little of what Peter had to say. Peter King, preeminent NFL writer in this country, he's talking about Mahomes versus Brady when they are both 27 years old, and here's what he said.
I'm not saying Mahomes is going to play 18 more years, which is what he'd have to do to match how long Brady played. But I'll tell you one thing. He is a phenomenal football player who has the ethos and the will of Tom Brady, and certainly he has the ability to play on the move significantly better than almost any quarterback who'd be in the top of these rankings.
Listen, Peter came with the receipts too. Age 27 years old, Perloff. Brady was 57-14 as the overall record, obviously had the 3 Super Bowl rings, and had an 11-3 touchdown to interception ratio. Mahomes, 75-19 as his record, 2 Super Bowl rings, but 3 appearances, as we know, and he has a 35-7 touchdown to interception ratio. To be talking about Brady and Mahomes at this point, taking not Brady at 45, but Brady at 27 and trying to see if there's going to be a similar path, I don't think that's disrespectful to Brady. And I think, quite frankly, Peter King's right on. If anyone's on the trajectory who might be able to catch Brady, it's Mahomes. Let's just acknowledge it.
First of all, those numbers are insane. Derek Carr has better numbers than Tom Brady through 27. That doesn't mean anything. It was a different era. They changed the rules in 2005. Then the next year, Tom Brady threw 50 touchdowns. So don't give me those stats. There's 1,000 quarterbacks with better numbers than Tom Brady. Now, this is what it sounds like to me. After LeBron won his second title in Miami, did anyone begin the LeBron James, Michael Jordan discussion?
Yeah, I think we started LeBron James, Michael Jordan when LeBron was in high school. That was the problem with that conversation.
So you're saying in 2013, when LeBron won his second title, people were like, well, he's on his way to get Michael? I don't remember any of that.
Oh, definitely. Remember LeBron said, I don't want to be 30 years old with bad knees and no rings. That was one of the reasons he wanted to leave Cleveland. And then he said, I'm always chasing the ghost of Michael Jordan. He said that after the 3rd ring, I think.
So let me just, all right, now I'm confused. You're saying Mahomes is catching up to Brady.
I think that I don't think it's like sacrilegious to say that he's on a trajectory where of all the other quarterbacks who are in the NFL, if anyone's going to possibly catch Brady, I think Mahomes clearly is the best shot because he has the 2 rings at 27 and the 3 Super Bowl appearances.
Okay, that's a little watered down.
Well, I can't say that he's better than Brady now. He's better than Brady at 27. He's a better quarterback than Brady at 27, but Brady had 3 rings because he had a great defense. He's got a Hall of Fame coach. So does Mahomes. But the only person who stopped Mahomes from having 3 rings is Tom Brady because he beat Mahomes in a Super Bowl.
If Joe Burrow had won the Super Bowl this year, a few bounces here or there, do you think we'd be starting to talk about Joe Burrow versus Tom Brady?
We already talk about Burrow and Brady together because they play more similarly to each other. Nobody thinks that Brady and Mahomes, you look at those 2 quarterbacks, you could be an alien from outer space, land on this planet, and be like, do these 2 guys play the same? No. They play the same position. They don't play the same. Burrow plays more like Brady.
Okay, one more question. Say the Chiefs hadn't won on Sunday. Would this conversation still be? It's the second ring.
It's the second ring.
So if that guy doesn't call holding at the end and the Eagles come back, then no, we're not doing this conversation. My point is you need to judge a much larger body of work to even really begin this conversation. Otherwise, he has the best chance to maybe make a run. That doesn't mean anything. It's way too early. You're looking at 25% of Mahomes' career compared to 100% of Brady's career.
Well, that's the danger. If you look at 25 versus 100, then Mahomes doesn't compare. If you look at the same 25% to Brady's 25%, then you could say, hey, these guys, what do they have in common? It's an uncommon to be in that many Super Bowls this young.
Okay. Yeah, but first of all, there's so many young quarterbacks who won one early and looked like they were on a crazy Super Bowl.
2?
2. Okay, 2. Big deal. Ben Roethlisberger.
It is a big deal.
Ben won 2 early. Russell Wilson won one in his second season. Looked like he was on a rocket ship. Aaron Rodgers won in his, I think, second year as a starter. Looked like he was on a rocket ship. There's so many guys. The thing that Brady did was he kept getting back. Right. Mahomes has won 2. I don't think anyone really thinks he's going to get to 7 the way the NFL is structured right now. It seems crazy to even think it.
Listen, he might not even have to get to 7 to be considered the best quarterback of all time. Brady will be the best winner of all time, but Mahomes might, if he wins 4, I mean, we had the Joe Montana-Brady debate even after Brady had surpassed Joe Montana, right? Because Joe was 4-0 in Super Bowl. So I think that even Mahomes can get into this conversation, even if he doesn't necessarily match Brady's 7. I don't know who's going to match that, but Mahomes is the best shot. And the other thing, too, is just like LeBron James and Michael Jordan, there are people out there who think LeBron is the best basketball player of all time, and he doesn't have 6 rings. He only has 4.
I just think it's so speculative. I mean, are we going to start talking about Trevor Lawrence and Tom Brady? Yeah, Trevor Lawrence could develop into that kind of quarterback. So, of course, we wouldn't have that conversation because you're saying, well, maybe Patrick Mahomes will have a second life to his career and win 2 more Super Bowls. It's way too speculative to even make this conversation. The conversation makes no sense to me.
So you don't think that Mahomes is in anywhere near – Mahomes at 27 –
Well, stop at 27 because there's a million –
That's how old he is.
Tom Brady didn't do anything until he won 3 Super Bowls.
He did
Tom
a ton.
Brady, I just think at 27, you're comparing numbers. You know how many hundreds and hundreds of quarterbacks have better numbers than Tom Brady through his 27 year of age?
Okay, but how many had 2 rings and 3 rings respectively? I mean, that's a very rarefied air. You have to admit that.
But the through 27, come on, we just know that it's going to be much harder for Patrick Mahomes to have from 27 on. He might have a few more of these, but he's not built like Tom Brady to win 1 million Super Bowls.
Well, he has a Hall of Fame coach with him. Yeah. I think everyone believes Andy Reid with the second Super Bowl.
How many more years?
I don't know. I mean, Belichick said he didn't want to be Marv Levy. Meanwhile, he's 72 right now, and he's still coaching. So
yeah, but
you always say whoever says they want to retire is the last person who's going to retire.
Reid is not going to stay around as long as Belichick. I don't think so. He's pretty old already. I mean, how old is he? 65?
Maybe, but 65 in coaching now is not that old. Andy Reid is one of those guys where I don't even know what he would do.
64.
He's 64. The one thing about Mahomes that I think is going to be his toughest thing, and that's all quarterbacks, because Brady and Rodgers at 39, these guys are pretty much outliers, right? Like, you know, Mahomes has ended a few seasons now limping around. It hasn't just been this year where he had the high ankle sprain. He also had the knee issue that, you know, obviously hampered him in the Super Bowl that he lost to Tom Brady. He just seems like he takes a lot more hits. I know Brady had the big knee injury that kept him out for a full season, but Mahomes takes some hits. Now, Peter said in that clip, you know, his ability to move around. I'm assuming what Peter meant there was his ability to escape pressure and to, you know, keep plays alive and all that. But Mahomes does take a lot more hits than Brady ever did.
Yeah, no, it's
even though Brady was in a different era where you actually could hit the quarterback.
Can I steal from a friend of mine?
Yeah, sure. Who's that? Me?
Tom Curran, NBC Sports Boston, one of our favorites, Tommy Curran. Yeah. Now, obviously bias. He's from New England. Here's his comments, and I'm just going to read them. What's interesting about the rush to promote Mahomes to the new GOAT is that he just has so far to go, and it's so disrespectful to the body work that Tom Brady put together. It's not LeBron versus Michael Jordan at all. It's Alex English versus Bill Russell. So he raises a question, are we being disrespectful to Tom Brady by this conversation? But it's not just us. A lot of people are doing this.
Of course.
Is it disrespectful to Tom Brady to say Mahomes is already in the conversation?
No. First of all, it's sports, and this is what we have, right? Because we can recognize greatness, but it's always about comparing to your peers and comparing you to the greats. When you get into that rarefied air, I think it's the opposite. I don't think it's disrespectful. I think it's the ultimate respect that you can put on either guy. It's like, your career was so incredible that we want to start comparing you to all-time greats. And nobody can argue that Mahomes, with what he's done in 5 years, he's already could walk into the Hall of Fame, and he's on his way to being an all-time great. I don't think it's disrespect. I think it's the opposite. It's the most respect.
I think it's disrespectful to Brady. He's such a solid GOAT right now. To give him 3 years of GOATness and then all of a sudden questioning his GOATness is crazy. All right, and
it just makes me want to be like, bah.
Let me ask you this. Well, okay, let's do a thought experiment here. And I'm sorry. I know you're a big LeBron James is the GOAT, the greatest player of all time in the history of NBA.
Yeah.
If I say I think Steph Curry has had a better career and is a better player than LeBron James.
There are people who already think that, including our boss. Yeah.
You don't find that disrespectful to LeBron James?
No, because I think that Curry has done so much. It's not that crazy. Do I think LeBron's had the better career? Sure, that's my opinion. But it's not like we're saying, you know, Andre Iguodala. Actually, Iguodala's been around for a while. It's not like I'm saying some random person. I'm not.
I know what you mean, but don't you find that disrespectful to LeBron James's achievements to say Steph Curry's had a better career?
Curry's could be a top 5 player of all time, top 10 player of all time. So it's not because if I'm comparing them to like, hey, you know who's the same as LeBron James? Michael Redd. I'd be like, what are you talking about? Now I'm just taking a side swipe of Michael Redd. I have no idea why I'm doing that. But if you're just talking to me about a marginal person who maybe was an all-star a couple times and had a nice career, we're talking about all-time greats being compared to other all-time greats. Do you think it's too early to say Mahomes is all-time great?
Definitely.
Look at what he's done in 5 years.
But I think it's too early to start talking about GOAT. I mean, first of all, there's a lot of great receivers, but if you talk about anyone except Jerry Rice as GOAT, it sounds kind of silly. Maybe Randy Moss.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Maybe Randy Moss, but Cooper Kupp, for example, nobody's saying, oh, he's better than Jerry Rice.
I know, but Cooper Kupp also doesn't have 2 rings and
Even
3 Super Bowl appearances.
It wouldn't matter. Jerry Rice is, I think this GOAT status is being taken way too lightly.
Oh, this is a get off my lawn thing. You just don't like the people throw around GOAT all the time. I mean,
No. I just think that
whatever.
I think it's insane. I think everybody is such a rush to have the guy right in front of their face. We have accelerated the get off. Get out of here. Okay, so you think Cooper Kupp's better than Jerry Rice?
No, of course not.
Wow, that's a hot take. No, it's just such a rush to say GOAT. Whatever is right in front of us, it's like completely. It's the silliest thing in sports media today. It's such an overreaction.
But I don't think saying that Mahomes is on his way or is on the trajectory is like a disrespectful hot take. I think it's just what we're watching. We're watching someone who is the best player in football right now. So why it'd be natural to start comparing him to the all-time great players? I don't think that's like weird.
I see what you're saying, but it's not comparing. People are saying he's already better than Brady.
Well,
that's being said out there.
I mean, I can't get behind that.
And also, too, one more thing. You really think after the second title on that Miami Dream team, people were like, oh, I think LeBron is challenging MJ? That's not reality.
LeBron was the heir to MJ the moment he
was the heir
came into the NBA.
But that's not the point. The point is no one's saying, oh, he is well on his way to being the GOAT after that second title, which took a lot of work and a lot of years to get to. Nobody was thinking Michael Jordan at that point. No one's thinking, oh, Jordan's in trouble here, LeBron's coming. That's just not reality.
I don't know. Michael Jordan, how long did it take him to win his first ring? It wasn't like 6 years until he won his first title.
I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying that I'm going back in the time machine to 2013. I'd like you just show me the article and say, ooh, LeBron's got 2 now. Man, watch out, Jordan. It just didn't exist because everyone was saying, oh, he won with Wade and Bosh.
The SI cover from LeBron in high school said the chosen one on it. Right. It was the Michael comparisons were starting before he even stepped on an NBA court.
It's not just comparisons, though. The people saying he's the GOAT, like you're saying right now, that was not a thing way back then.
He was still, no, he's chasing Jordan. He'll say he's always chasing Jordan. But I like this from Thomas, who's in the chat right now, Thomas L., who said it's never just about title. He said the whole number of championship things is dumb. By that measure, Bill Russell is twice as good as Michael Jordan. And he's right. Few people put Bill Russell, may he rest in peace, incredible career. Nobody puts him above Michael Jordan. Nobody puts him above LeBron or Kareem. You know, Bill Russell might be in your top 5, but he's not in your top 3, most likely.
I don't think it's a no-brainer that he's not above Kareem. I don't think that's right. Kareem moves around a little
Jordan.
bit.
Let's put it that way.
Yeah, but no one puts Kareem over Jordan because of the scoring title, and you put LeBron over Jordan because of the scoring title. So there's different criteria.
Well, I put LeBron over Jordan for a lot of reasons. That was just a bookend reason. But I think that he's right. Thomas is right in the chat about it's not just the number of rings. Like, I think there's a chance where Mahomes ends up being remembered as the better quarterback, even if he doesn't win 7 Super Bowls. Winning 7, Brady's put so much distance between himself and the next guy. It's crazy because who's going to stay healthy till they're 45? Such an outlier.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit of sort of denigrating what Tom Brady achieved. I mean, it was pretty incredible.
That's what I'm saying. It's amazing. I don't know if anyone's going to touch the 7 Super Bowls, but
just his body of work of his career is GOAT-like. I mean, it's pretty crazy what he did.
It's going to be tougher, though, for Mahomes. I know that the AFC West was not awesome last year, but the AFC East basically handed Brady the division crown year after year after year.
No, he was set up for success. There's no doubt about that.
And he had Belichick. It's going to be harder for Mahomes, just like it's already been a little bit harder because he's only won 2 out of the 3 appearances instead of all 3.
But you got to think about a couple things Brady did. He had an undefeated regular season. He came back from 28-3 to halftime deficit to beat the Falcons, threw for 500 yards in a Super Bowl loss. I mean, he's got a pretty crazy resume. And to say, definitely Mahomes could be in that conversation someday, but why are we having that conversation now? To me, it seems kind of premature.
I think it's a tip of the cap to Mahomes because when you're watching the greatness, like, it's good to acknowledge that you're watching it. Yeah. And maybe we don't know the best way to do it, but we all know what we're watching here.
Oh, he's
because
amazing,
we know Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league, and there's some damn good quarterbacks in the league, and he's still the best.
I would laugh so hard if Joe Burrow won 2 Super Bowls, and all of a sudden it's the exact same conversation as that he's the GOAT.
Oh my God, Burrow beat the Bills, and everyone was saying he was the GOAT. He didn't have to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I know. Actually, that's true. Don't you realize there's a rush to GOATness that is insane? I like what Tom said. This is like comparing Alex English to Bill Russell. It's closer to that than LeBron to MJ. This is way too early. Even LeBron only really got the MJ stuff after the bubble title because he got a 4th ring. Because with 3 rings, he had.
I don't know. You're not remembering.
He had a thin argument until the 4th ring.
You don't remember when right after LeBron came back from down 3-1 against the Warriors.
And then the Jordan call for the documentary. I know all that.
LeBron said, "Now I consider myself the greatest player," and that's when Jordan was like, "Dial up the 10-part documentary.
Yeah,
let's see what's what."
But I don't think
these guys' egos is so crazy.
I don't think there was a huge movement of LeBron with 3 titles being the GOAT. It really, you will admit that it definitely picked up in the years following that.
It's definitely picked up in the years following because he's still doing it and he's still playing at a high level.
He won a title at 35 or something.